I think this is a very easy way to trade the Trump presidency. Anytime that the media tries to sow doom or spread panic about the Trump administration's policies, that's a good time to buy. We saw this when Jim Cramer started touting the Black Monday that was coming, and Larry Summers has been out there constantly with his TDS. Whenever the media puts these experts on to tell you that there's chaos and doom, that has proven to be an excellent time to buy the dip. I would say the rate of progress is exponential right now on at least three key dimensions. So number one is the algorithms themselves. The models are improving at a rate of, 3 to 4 times a year. They're not just getting faster and better, but qualitatively they're different. Remember, we started with pure LLM chatbots. Then we went to reasoning models. We didn't even get to the agents part of it yet, but that's the next big leap after reasoning models. We're just starting to scratch the surface there. Then you've got the chips, depending on how you measure it. Each generation of chips is probably 3 or 4 times better than the last. It's not just the individual chips that are getting better. They're figuring out how to network them together, like with NVL72. It's like a rack system to create much better performance at the data center level. And that would be the third area where you're seeing basically exponential progress. Just look at the number of GPUs that are being deployed in data centers. So when Elon first started training Grok, I think they had maybe 100,000 GPUs. Now they're up to 300,000. They're on their way to 1 million. Same thing with OpenAI's data centers, Stargate. And within a couple of years, they'll be at 5 million GPUs, 10 million GPUs. The algorithms, the chips, and the data centers are all improving or scaling at a rate of, 3 to 4x a year. That's 10x every 2 years. Where people don't understand exponential progress is that if you're getting better at 10x every 2 years, that doesn't mean you'll be at 20x in 4 years. It means you'll be at 100x. So you multiply those things together, the algorithms, the chips, and then the raw compute that's available, you're talking about a 1,000,000x increase, some of which will be captured in price reductions. Some of it will be in the performance ceiling, and then some of it will just be in the overall amount of AI compute that's available to the economy. But the impact of this thing is going to be absolutely massive. And I think people still don't even appreciate that fact because they don't understand exponential progress. Elon, by the way, could you just publish that? Could we create like a Grokopedia? Wikipedia is so biased and it's a constant war. You know, if something gets corrected, 5 minutes later, there'll be an army of people trying to... it's become hyper partisan and there's activists all over it. So if you do fix, for example, Wikipedia as a source of truth, it'd be great to publish that just so that the world has it.
All right, I'll talk to the team about that, like a Grokopedia or whatever. Here's the Grokopedia version.
According to Polymarket, Gavin Newsom is the early favorite in the 2028 Democratic presidential race. So who gets the nomination? Is any of this even valid, Sachs, in your mind, or is it just too much time between now and then?
Well, I think it's valid in the sense that you're seeing Democrats react positively to what Newsom is doing. And what Newsom is doing is mirroring Trump's style in an attempt to give Democrats what they want, which is they want a Trump of their own. And despite Democrats feigning objections to Trump's style, this is really what they want. They want someone who they perceive to be a fighter. That said, I think there are 2 problems with presumptively crowning Gavin as the nominee 3 years in advance. One is that what Newsom is doing here is completely performative. Everyone can see that he's acting and he's aping what he thinks is Trump's style. Gavin comes across as being synthetic or plastic, and you don't really have a sense of who the real person is. So one is authenticity. The other is that I think that Democrats make a huge mistake if they think that Trump's popularity is based on his style. It's true that Trump has a $1 trillion personality, and that is very helpful in politics. But ultimately, I think the reason why Trump has done so well for a decade is because he's been on the right side of a bunch of core issues in American politics that other people just weren't focused on or weren't talking about. So until the Democrats confront why they really lost, the reality is it's because of the policies and it's about the record. And until they're willing to confront those things and change their policies, then I think they're going to continue losing. I'm more interested in the political dimension of this. I'm not bashing a specific product or company. But look, I think that there is some non-zero risk of AI growing into a superintelligence that's beyond our control. They have a name for that. They call it X risk or existential risk. I think it's very hard to put a percentage on that. I'm willing to acknowledge that is a risk. I think about that all the time, and I do think we should be concerned about it. But there's 2 problems, I think, with this approach. Number one is X risk is not the only kind of risk. I would say that China winning the AI race is a huge risk. I don't really want to see a CCP AI running the world. And if you hobble our own innovation, our own AI efforts in the name of stomping out every possibility of X risk, then you probably end up losing the AI race to China because they're not going to abide by those same regulations.